recording, and we're drinking. What are we drinking? I'm drinking coffee and water.
I'm drinking colorless fruit juice water,
Oh yeah,
something
delicious.
crystal clear,
The
apple pear taste. Nice.
there, you know, people here don't like the taste of water by itself, so they'll add things to flavor it. And
Mm.
there's a new product out there called the Circle, Cirkul. Not an endorsement. I've never used it, but the girls love it. They love it. And apparently there's these little flavor inserts you put in, and then you can adjust the
All right.
dial to determine how
Yes.
strong you want it. And it's all natural flavors, which
I
is
know
pretty
it.
impressive.
I know it. It's like you have these scent capsules, and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
makes your
precies.
brain believe that you actually drink fruit juice. I know. Yep.
Oh,
How do you call it in the Netherlands? It's a different name. What's it again? I'll get back to you on that one. I forgot. Yvonne didn't leave yet, so she can tell me. I'm sure she
oh,
knows.
good.
But
I,
okay,
I just wondered if she was
whatever.
tiptoeing around. So yeah, those of you
Buongiorno, by the way.
say again.
Buongiorno, by the
Yeah,
way, my
yes,
friend,
I-
amigo.
indeed.
Yeah.
Goedemiddag voor jou. Goedemorgen voor mij.
Ja, klopt. That's what I
Um,
said. Buongiorno.
yes, yes. So, those of you in Radio Land, you have no idea what's going on in our world, but we missed the
Mm.
opportunity to sit down and record an episode last week because our bodies said, hell no, we won't go.
Yeah, exactly.
And we were talking this morning, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to talk about projects and pain and why it's important to pay attention to your body, why it's important to take care of your body, and why you
Mm.
should also expect, because Tone will back me up on this. There's no way ever on any project you take on that has any level of complexity, you're not going to hurt yourself. It may be you dropping something on your foot, on your hand. It may be you getting something in your eye. You may cut yourself. You may turn a weird way and feel your back do something you're pretty sure the human body can't do, and then the pain that comes as a result. So we thought we would spend at least one episode digging a little deeper into that.
Digging a little deeper in your back as well. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Your body can play nasty tricks on you. I know that's for sure. Yeah. I remember one time I was digging my first big ass pond, and it was a Sunday morning, and Yvonne was still in bed, and I was standing in this huge hole in the ground, like about 3 feet deep already.
Hmm.
And I was up early and I decided to hop in the hole and just dig away for a couple of hours because I was off that day. And boy, then all of a sudden I had well, in the Netherlands we call it in good Dutch, we call it whiplash in my
Yeah.
calf. Fuck yeah. I'm sorry about that. I
Yeah,
know it's an
no.
American. Yeah. So anyway, that hurted, but try hopping out of a pit with a whiplash in your calf. I just couldn't do it. I had to crawl out using my upper body for strength because I couldn't move one leg.
Yeah.
So I had to pull myself out of the hole, put one leg over the edge, and then crawl out. And I went crawling into the house, crawling up the stairs, and then I called for Yvonne. I said, like, all right, I can't do anything anymore. And she went like, what? Really? And that was the first time. And later it happened. a second time when I was in the show. We're almost done. Was the final act. And just before that, I went off for a costume change, and damn, it hit me again. Yeah, so I couldn't go out anymore. The rest of
And
the cast was wondering where I was.
so
My
here's
God.
a question. Here's a question for you. You stretch before you perform on stage. Do you stretch
Mm.
before you start working on any of your projects?
No, of course not. That's stupid.
Isn't that
Because you,
funny? Sometimes the project we're doing, in fact, in our case, in your case, in my
yeah,
case, most times the physical project we're doing at home is way more demanding physically than what we're doing on stage. What we're doing on stage is technique and it's complex levels of dancing and singing and moving, but we know to stretch
mm,
because we've programmed it into our brain. However, we don't think about stretching when we're going to move 1.5 kilos of stones or pavers, or we're going to dig a hole 1.5 meters deep. We
right.
don't think about that. And
No.
we get lucky until the day our body taps us on the shoulder and says, "Hey, remember all that work you
What?
did and you weren't taking care of me?
Yeah. What do you
I'm,
think you're doing?
I'm not putting up with it anymore."
Right, exactly. That's a little flaw in the evolution cycle, I think. Maybe your brain should warn you for stuff like that. The same as it warns you for pain or stuff like that, and go like, like fear, There's this natural reaction when
Well,
you're in stressful situations. You go like, "Whoa, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?" And especially, and also, if you're doing any physical thing whatsoever, your brain should say, "Ah, wait, you have to stretch. First, warm up, warm up. Yeah, okay, we're fine." But for
but
some,
that,
it doesn't.
that's probably that's just a programming thing on our part because I think after you injure yourself,
Hmm.
whether it's a knee or a back or another joint,
Oh yeah, but
your body tells you right away, hey, by the way, this has been injured previously, and if you pursue this particular path of activity, it's not
mm,
going to end nicely for you. So I think in that
nay,
regard, but yeah, we don't think, and the reason why we're talking about that today is I think about the projects I take on, and I have to be more mindful. Like building Neds, I
yeah,
did it all by myself. I had no help lifting any of that stuff.
nay,
I installed an elevated shelving unit in the garage, and so I'm lifting this 6x8 panel, balancing it on my head while I'm using an electric drill gun to anchor screws, and then putting 2x4s under the other side. And it's all really stupid when you think about it, but
mm,
it's the activity you'd expect from a 25-year-old, right? Not someone our age,
mm.
but we have to be mindful of that. And
Well,
for example, I had to go out of town after Halloween, and
mm,
I didn't get a chance to strike the Halloween decorations, which consisted of rocks and tombstones and trees and coffins. And all I did was very stupidly lean forward and twist at the same time. So I went into what body mechanic individuals will call your red zone. It's a bad place to go. And my back told me.
mm.
And I thought,
Yeah,
son of a gun. And we
yeah,
have to be we should always be careful. For those of you out there that are young
mm,
and watching or listening, stretch before you do anything. I don't care if you're going with some
right.
friends to the local watering hole and you're going to swing on a rope swing into the river, stretch.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Otherwise, one day you're going to wake up and your mind's going to say, "Come on, let's go. Time to hit the gym." And then maybe we're going to go running with some friends, do some biking, maybe play some soccer. You'll
Yeah.
get one leg out of bed, and this horrible, searing, shooting pain will run right up your spine.
Yes, it will.
And your
I know.
brain will tell you, not today.
Yes. And well, the funny thing with my back is because I was a sporting cyclist, you know that,
Yes,
for a long while.
yes.
And yeah. So I never had that sensation. Well, I did, but because I had a herniated disc when I was in my 30s, early 30s, it happened, and with a little bit of chiropractors and a little bit taking care, I got over it. And then the second time when it happened was my 55th something, and then it came slowly because I was very fit back then.
Hmm.
But it happened anyway, so it was not that snap moment.
Right.
It crept in really, really slowly. So the first thing I noticed it was a little bit of an annoying feeling in my shin bone up front, just
Yep.
below the knee, and I couldn't place it. I mean, like, what the hell? Did I got stung by a mosquito or something? And stuff like this, these little itchy pain, and it got worse and got worse, and it didn't ring a bell, and it just kept on cycling, which maybe probably me was the worst thing that I could have done at that time.
Well, you didn't
I'm
know
not
though.
sure. But anyways, yeah, so it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until it got so bad that I went to the doctor and he said, "Well, you have hernia." Really? That was kind of strange. Yeah. So it started, this tingling sensation. So it came in really slow. Yeah. That was
Yeah,
sucked. That sucked.
I think, uh a doctor explained to me what happens when a disc compresses or herniates. And he goes, "You know what a marshmallow is?" And I said, "Sure." And he went, "Well, marshmallows are soft and gooey on the inside, and then they have that more solid coating made of the same stuff on the outside.
Mm,
Squeeze a marshmallow and it'll rupture at some point, and that point becomes its weak point, and that
mm,
is what your disc does. When it ruptures, it pushes through, and all that goo comes out, and it takes time
yeah.
for that scar tissue to solidly fill and form,
Mm,
and then
yeah.
that becomes stronger, but then everything around it is also weaker, which means you're predisposed to it in the future because it happened once before.
Yeah. And I had a double hernia. So at the same spot,
Hmm.
but on two sides of the disc. So it was one and two there was two.
Yeah.
And I also had uh, my one of my vertebrae got a lump on it. Was disfigured. How should I say this? I'm not sure in English, but it grew an extra lump, so that was also pushing my nerves.
Ugh.
Oh my God. Yeah, so it was quite a big operation,
Yeah.
and
So,
well, I had to do it. There was no getting around it. I had no choice. So, but if I would have had a choice, I wouldn't have done it. That's for sure. But okay,
and
I had
and to your point,
to.
uh, when I was younger, I wish, I don't even know because of how I was that I would have paid attention. But if I had someone in my life
Mm,
who was a yoga teacher or practitioner, I might have paid attention to what they were doing, because
mm,
all of the people I know that teach yoga or practice yoga, they use it not just to maintain their body, but they use it to prevent injury going forward, and they use it to deal with issues they may have had in the past. Of
right.
course, sometimes when you beat the hell out of your body like we have, you and I,
Mm,
I sometimes
mm,
wonder if anything helps.
yeah. Well, you even more so. I get you with your stunt work and everything with these cars and falling into mats and
Yeah.
falling off buildings and stuff like this. Yeah. Well,
Yeah. I
what do you
tell
expect?
I tell people who have
Yeah.
asked, well, what's it like when you're jumping from that high? I said, it is like wearing a thin leather jacket and someone takes a nice solid swing at your back with a pizza spatula, a big wooden pizza spatula, just whacks you in the back. That's
Yeah.
what it feels like. And then you multiply that times thousands of times. And
Yeah.
when you're jumping vehicles, whether you're putting them up on two wheels or jumping them when it comes
Yeah.
down, that's that's someone taking a sledgehammer to your spine, the base of your spine.
Yeah, yeah, that is really bad.
I
I
think
know.
uh all of that considered won't stop me
Mhm.
from taking on, and I know you as well, any projects that I have in mind to do or complete.
Yeah. Well, the for some strange reasons, the the really sharp pain
Yeah.
that happens instantly, it's annoying, but for some strange reasons, it's better to handle
Yes.
in comparison to the annoying small nagging pain that's there all the time. Um, like for instance, the drawing that I picked up that I
Hmm.
did, that's very hard for me to continue because you're in a concentration mode,
Right.
and then you're very sensitive. And then you're not only sensitive to what you're seeing, but also sensitive to what you're feeling. So most of the time, and in the beginning, you have so much adrenaline because you're in the whole art experience, and it goes really, really well, and so you don't notice the pain. But then it gets
Yeah.
the moment that you're more, you get more routine, and then you start noticing the pain. So I stopped with that. I quit. I
And
never do it again
so
anymore.
you just
I want to, but
you
I
just said
can't.
something, and
Yeah.
it's something that we don't think about. There's a whatever you're
Mm,
doing to become good at it, to become good at it, you
yeah.
have to establish this consistent performance behavior. And for you, when you're drawing,
Mm,
whether you're gripping the pencil with a death grip or you're holding it lightly,
mm,
you've got whatever that position is, and you're
mm.
doing it sometimes for hours at a time. But I think maybe you'll agree with me on this. I imagine you would. When you're working on a project at home, it's in many ways it's like training for a marathon. And I was over at Disney over the weekend cheering on some, brother from another mother. Uh, and we talked about the training and the thing that I know, you and I, I used to do centuries on a bike. I hop on a bike, go 100 miles. And I've done bike events for charity. And the thing that you have to do if you're going to complete the objective is you have to pace yourself, and you have to know what your pace is. And it's the same thing with projects. And that's the thing I was going to ask you. Do you agree that whatever it is you take on project wise, you have to establish a pace and not overdo it? Otherwise, either you burn out or you hurt yourself. And when people
Yeah.
run marathons or they do ultra marathons or triathlons, if they don't pace themselves, if they don't
Yeah.
identify this is my pace and then stick with
Yeah.
it, they don't finish.
Yeah. Absolutely true. And it's a more of an issue when you're getting older, of course.
Yeah.
And when you're young, the sky's the limit. You don't care. Everything you do, your body will forgive you. It will forgive you anyway. But later on in life, yeah, you really have to take care of your body. That's for
You know
sure.
what?
And yeah.
I think honestly, when you're younger, your body has just created a grudge closet. All the stupid things you do
Grudge
when you're
closet.
younger,
Yeah.
the body takes it and
Yeah.
goes, I'm gonna hang on to that for later reference. Oh, that
It's
too. I'm gonna
true.
grab that. I'm gonna put
Yeah.
it right over here. And then one day it
Mm,
taps you on the shoulder and says, Hey, remember
yeah.
when you used to do this? Remember
Yeah. Well, my physical therapist had this really interesting metaphor with a bucket. Like the bucket is full. Everybody knows that expression, right? And you have a daily bucket. We also have a weekly bucket and like a period bucket or a summer bucket. So if you do something, if you if you put the buckets too so full that it overflows, then you've done too much. And also, but all the uh, all the buckets in your daily life, if you let them overflow, you can easily correct it. But there's also a bucket of life. If that one's over full, you can't empty it anymore. It's there. It's full. I thought that was pretty interesting.
I like that idea, and I think
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
So,
I like telling people, it's a thing that I learned at Disney. Nobody is limited on being able to create magic, being able to create pixie dust, and you can take your bucket that might have pixie rust and turn it back into pixie dust. But
pixie rust. Yeah.
but the
Right.
thing the thing that I love is, you have a cup, and I remember I remember reading, and I can't remember who had said it, but they said, here's the thing, the cup is always full. It may not be full with the thing that you see or want it to be filled with. If it's only full to here, the rest
Mm,
of it's air. If it's full to here, the rest of it's air, but it's always full. And I thought, well,
mm,
that's crazy. So it can be filled with different things. Like our
yeah.
project cup can be filled with the heavyweight objectives, the lightweight objectives, the
Mm,
resting activity objectives. Like for for me, when I needed to take a break from drilling or banging or adjusting and leveling,
yeah.
my light part of the cup being filled was
Mm,
making the lamps or doing something else artistic where I could sit down and
mm,
just work with my hands and just free flow and think. Um,
mm.
it's sometimes I think I wanted to pull something up to show you. In most marathons you get a medal when you finish the marathon, and I thought,
Mm.
when I told Brandon and Connor, I said everybody can get a medal, big deal. You finish
Uh,
you finish a marathon, you get a medal. It's a given. I said, how many people get an award that celebrates the fact they trained and they prepared? So I had this idea because the marathon they ran with is food and wine, right? So I thought, well, I want something that's
mm.
gonna more or less represent. So I did this thing that was in a wine shape, and I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, I can.
So it's very silly because I'm notorious for uh I mean, you might not know this, but I'm notorious for hiding business cards.
Yes. Yes, you are.
And I did that to them, and they got me back. They had ordered 500 business cards that that looks like the ones that are not me, right? And they hid
Okay,
them
that's funny.
everywhere, everywhere. And I thought, well,
Everywhere.
I'm gonna make wine cups with these, but I sat down to do it in the middle of a day where I had really big physical project work to do, and I think people have to think in terms of, when you're doing a project, any kind of project, make sure, almost like, uh so when you work on a film set, you
Yeah.
have same with TV shows, you have what's called rain days, and they're built into the production. If you're shooting outside and the weather's gross, they have a provision for working inside. And when you're working on any kind of project, have provisions that take you away from the heavy lifting, because I think, and correct me if you feel differently, when we're working on any kind of project, we want to do little spurts of heavy lifting. Because if
Yeah.
we try to do big spurts of heavy lifting, we're asking for trouble.
Yeah, and also you have to be very conscious about how you go about lifting things.
Yes,
And sometimes you just have to decide, well, I'm not going to be able to do it as I was used to.
right.
So, and then you have to start being creative, trying to lifting in another way. And sometimes that works out and you can still do it. Or you divide the weight in half by tilting it or I don't know, sliding it upwards and then, or do it in two separate thingy motions, whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you're yeah, if you're
You
moving
get
a
creative.
big if you're moving a big
Yeah.
cumbersome object instead of trying to pick it up, maybe
Yeah.
sometimes walking it forward, right? When
For
you're when
instance,
you're
yeah.
when you're moving when you're working with heavy rocks or pieces of lumber or
Yeah.
neighbor stones, it's
Right.
okay to move them a
Exactly.
few at a time. And and
Yeah.
I think well, I think sometimes people think, well, I want to finish this. And that's another conversation because for me, there's a certain
Mm.
meditative quality when I'm working on a project.
Mm.
There's this almost both
Yes.
mental communion and mental cleansing when I'm working on a project.
Exactly. Well, that's crazy. It's like you're reading my mind because just noticed this this week, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's behind me. I just
Yeah,
sent you a picture.
you
See?
did. Yeah, yeah, your new tree.
Right. Right next to me here is my latest
Yep. That's the one from
acquirement
your brother's
thingy.
place.
Yeah, exactly. And I noticed I took it home. I was really enthusiastic, so I started cleaning it out and shaping it right away when I got home. Ripped out all the weeds and shit out of the pot, put it in
Yep.
a nice pot, and then I started shaping it and trimming it and pruning it. And I noticed something. I had the same experience that I had with the first time I did my artwork. It was, as a matter of fact, I'm not sure. Yeah, it was your drawing of Addison Rose. And I have had
I'm
this
going to show people that
uplifted,
while you talk.
I had this uplifting feeling that I was euphoric almost.
Yes.
And yeah, and guess what? No back pain. No back pain, no pain in my leg, nothing. So that tells you something. What? But how can it happens by accident? You can't. At least I can't, and maybe you can't either. You can't steer it or make it happen or concentrate in a certain way that you'll make it. It doesn't work. It happens to you. I go like, huh? Don't feel anything. What's
Would
that? And like East Asian people, like in they have this mindset that they can turn things off
especially in
pain.
martial arts,
Yeah, I have
the way
no
they
idea how they do
train
that.
with the way they train with the
Yeah,
wooden dummies, the ability
right.
to hold hot vessels and walk them back and forth. And I
Mm,
think you and I could definitely agree here. We both have elevated thresholds for pain. My
yeah,
threshold for pain is much higher now than it was maybe 20 years ago.
yeah, I agree. Mine too. Absolutely. And but I do start just last week. I told my my supervisor, direct supervisor. I told her, I said, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to back off a little bit of the heavy work and everything. And she was very cool about it. And she said, "Well, no, well, you did your job, you know. Just let it go. There are enough young people who
Good,
can do it for
good.
you." I said, "Yeah, well, but the thing is, you have to keep doing your thing because if you don't." You get even weaker and the
Oh,
problems
that's true.
start
Yeah.
getting even bigger.
Yep.
So it's very hard to find the balance for
I
me.
know. I
But
know.
I mean, yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Now you have to get there as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I agree. I
yeah.
agree.
Okay. And it is hard. It is hard to find a balance because doing nothing is not an option either
Well,
because it can be even
it's not. And
worse.
that's
Yeah.
why it's always important to, that's
Yeah.
why it's always important to stay busy, whatever the thing is. And
Yeah.
even if
Yeah.
maybe you can't, I remember many years ago, I bought these two lion statues that sat outside the front door of the house, and one of them was close to 250 pounds. I moved that thing several times by myself, and then the last time that I went to
Yeah.
move it, I went to pick it up, and then I thought, oh my gosh, this is not a thing I'm ever doing again.
That is way too heavy. I know. I know
But
exactly what you're
no,
talking
but
about.
but
Yeah.
but you're right, and
Yeah.
we can do all the things we need to do to keep our bodies
Mm.
in shape, because as we get older, it gets harder. And this is really important for anyone listening who's younger. Take care of your body now, because it'll take care of you later. And if you don't take care of your body now, it'll remind you later that you didn't take care of your
Yeah.
body.
Right. And stay in shape, especially when you're younger, because
Yep.
and never be overconfident in uh, uh, because your back is very, very fragile. If it's like
Yes.
this is an evolutionary thing. When you're young, you go like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you have a little back pain, but you have to keep it in check. See your a chiropractor or your physical therapist in time because it will get you in the end. At
Yeah,
the
it's
end, later on in life. Yeah,
if
it's
you think
absolutely.
about it, the thing that's supporting maybe half to two-thirds of the weight of your body is the diameter of a sausage, and it's got nothing but nerve tissue, cartilage, bone, and
Yeah,
meat. That's it.
yeah. And all the tendons attached to
Yeah,
your
yeah,
vertebrae and the muscles, and you have to keep them in shape.
yep,
And if you have back pain, if this sharp pain when you're younger, and the sharp pain happens, have it checked out because the pain will subside, but
right,
the damage is done.
right.
So you have to be really careful about that.
I
And
agree.
young people go like just as we did. Whatever, it's fine.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, I just hurt my back. Oh, really? Yeah, but I'm fine. Yeah, you're not fine
And I
because it
think
could be. Yeah.
even for the most active of people, they're working at a disadvantage to us, because you and I growing
Yeah.
up didn't have the distraction of the internet, and we didn't have smartphones that we could
Yeah.
swipe and like and click and message people. Our physical activity was
Mm,
physical. It wasn't just our thumbs. So
right.
it's easy
Right.
to get
Yeah.
sucked into that.
It
So
is. It is.
take on projects, find the hobbies
Yeah.
that keep you busy, both mind and body, and dive into them.
Mm. Yes. On the other hand, you have all the information in the world at your fingertips. So
Yeah,
there's no reason to be stupid anymore.
thank you.
You can know. You
Thank
can
you.
know. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's true, isn't
And
it?
one more thing to add to that, just
Yeah,
because it's here doesn't mean you shouldn't vet it, all right? As Abraham Lincoln
yeah.
said, don't trust everything you read on the internet.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
I
true.
said that
You have
once
to
to
sift
I
through it.
said that
Yeah.
once to a group, and one of the people in the group goes, "Really?" And I
Yeah.
went, "Somebody please."
Yeah.
And somebody else said, internet, Abraham Lincoln. There's
Okay.
no overlap. That was great. It was a great
Yeah.
explanation.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. You go like, huh? What do you mean? Abraham
Yeah.
Lincoln? Huh?
Oh,
That is
how did you
funny.
know it was me?
Yeah. Yeah. That one too. Yeah. Well, today is the day, isn't it?
It is. It is. We're
Oh my
posting
God.
these out of order, but we're recording this on election day, and
Yeah.
I hope that you got out to vote, and I hope that you vote your
Yeah, me
ideology,
too.
and I hope that, most importantly, I hope that you're kind and you're civil. Don't be a freaking ass. Okay?
Don't be an ass. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Be honest, be civil, and be straightforward.
Yeah.
That's the best you can do. If
There's
everybody would do that, we would be in a different world.
no kidding.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
kidding. All
Yeah.
right.
Nice
That's
talking
it.
to you again.
It's always great seeing your handsome face. Ladies and gentlemen, Click like, click subscribe, tell your friends, ask us questions. I know there's stuff out
Yeah.
there. There's burning things you want to ask us to talk about. All you have to do is post it and let us know because we're here for you. I mean,
Like,
we're here for each
subscribe, and
other, but also
share.
for you.
Yeah,
Right.
precies. Yeah. Okay. Like, subscribe, and share it with all your friends
Yes,
and
please.
beyond.
Yes,
Yes.
please. All right,
Okay.
everybody. Have a
Okay.
beautiful
Hasta
day.
la
Thank you
vista,
for
baby.
tuning in. Um, take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of the people in your life.
Yes, absolutely. And enjoy. Quincy Jones passed away yesterday. Did you
Yeah.
hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had this great statement, by the way. Then we're going to close it off. Did you hear that? It
No.
was on television. It was really funny. I never knew that, of course, because you don't hear stuff like
Right.
that. You can't know anything. But anyway, apparently he said one day, just enjoy every day because it can be your last. And
Hmm.
one day, you're right.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
thought that was awesome.
Yeah. I
Today could be
agree.
our last day. You don't know.
I agree.
So enjoy every day. That was really pretty profound and
Yeah.
pretty obvious as well. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, but people miss out on it. People
Yeah,
miss out.
I
People,
know. Yeah, but it's hard to get the most out of every day,
yeah.
but you can try.
Sometimes it's just a matter of letting the day happen around you and take advantage
Yeah,
of the positive that you see and experience.
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, here in the Netherlands, we have this winter dip and it's terrible. This nasty cold weather. I hate it. I
Yeah,
really do.
I understand.
Yeah, it's too warm is not a good thing, but too cold.
Yep.
It's not for me, especially when you get older. That's also something. You get
Yeah.
colder all the time. Ugh, just anyway, let's close it off. It's fine.
Yes.
We've said enough. It was fun.
Have a beautiful day, everyone.
Yeah,
Click like and
shaker.
subscribe, and we love you. Be good to yourself and each other.
Yes. Okay. And go vote. Very important. Okay. Bye.
Later.
Later.